All right, I believe we have everyone in here. So I want to introduce myself. My name is Michael Orman. I'm the director of the arts here at the Meadows School. Um, I am new to the Meadows this year. This is my first year here in Las Vegas. Prior to this, I was at the Green Hill School in Dallas, Texas for the past 11 years. But originally from St. Louis, where I taught at MICDS. So I've had a number of years in private school institutions, and I would say that the knowledge that comes from and knowledge and perspective that comes from those institutions, has really brought a lot of passion to what I do, and it brings the excitement of being here at the Meadows. A place that has such a strong academics, athletics, and arts programs that really balance that. So, what I would like to do tonight is just talk a little bit about our programming here at the Meadows. I would love, since this is a smaller group, I'd love to ask you any questions that you might have, and we can go and I hopefully can answer all of the questions that you might have about the arts program or kind of the progression of arts through the Meadows. So to start, I would like to speak a little bit to kind of our approach and the reasoning and the path of a student here at the Meadows. So, really looking at what we have here at the Meadows, we have this rich opportunity for students pre-K through 12 to kind of find an opportunity to find their voice. What I have really gained knowledge about the Meadows, and I think that what sets us apart from other institutions is because not only do we have this rich arts program, but we give our students opportunities to be the creatives. So while they're here at the Meadows, they are gaining this rich academic knowledge, and they're becoming the best students that are here in the Las Vegas Valley. And moving forward from there, what is going to set them apart is the opportunities that they have in the arts and the opportunities in the athletics. And it's this well-rounded student that is going to be able to thrive here at the Meadows School. So starting in pre-K and going into lower school, arts is really woven into the curriculum. For the past 36 years, starting with Dr. Copley, they really knew that arts was the focus for, hold on one second, was the focus for a student that was nurtured and ways to build their confidence. And what we continue today is we still have that arts woven into the curriculum, where students are getting that direct instruction on how to follow directions, how to handle and manipulate scissors and pencils. And so that tactile, that kinesthetic focus is in every day, in every lesson. And what we also have here, though, at the Meadows, is we have these opportunities in lower school where we are actually pulling students out an hour a week to come up to the Arts Center and work with our middle school and upper school arts teachers. They have dramatic arts in 4th and 5th grade. We have everyday kindergarten through 5th opportunities to have music lessons with our amazing music instructor down at the lower school. So not only is it built into the curriculum, we see the need for the visual arts. We see the need for the dramatic arts and the music arts in their daily lives. So that is our approach in beginning and lower school. When students graduate 5th grade going into 6th grade, that's when they really get to open up and experience this breadth of opportunities that are here at the Meadows. So starting in 6th grade, what we have this year is a carousel of art. And what we've done is we've enabled it to where a student in the middle school has a quarter of visual art, a quarter of theater arts, a quarter of music. And in music, they get to choose whether they're going to be in band or they're going to be in orchestra. And then depending on the grade, depending on if it's 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, they have another opportunity. For instance, life studies is in 6th grade, film studies, competitive science. So we give this carousel, this exploration of arts, if you would, to every student. So when they go through this their middle school years, they are able to see what is really speaking to them. You know, I would say that I found students love having this choice, love having these experiences, and it takes some of the peer pressure off of choosing, especially in 6th grade, of, you know, do I go into something that I really want to do? Whether, you know, if I love drawing, but all of my friends are going over here, do I go into the, you know, visual arts class? This way, we are taking some of the pressure off of them. And when they go through and go into upper school, that's really when they get to open up and see these different opportunities. For instance, so when they get into upper school, that's when we offer photography, we offer film studies and film creation. We're building other programs to really kind of give students opportunities that they wouldn't normally get in their day-to-day lives. So with that, you know, we really see that the arts are woven into the fabric of the culture. So in upper school, when students get into 9th grade, there is a year of fine arts graduation requirements, but so many of our students take more than just a year. We find that students will take a year of theater production. They'll be in one of our plays or one of our musicals, and while they're taking a visual arts class, they'll be in photography while they're in the orchestra. So many of our students do multiple arts because we provide that venue for them. We know that a rich experience in all your years, but especially in high school, is when you are provided those opportunities. So we try to work with students. We work with their schedule to make things work that in a typical institution, depending on the size and the scope, you wouldn't get to have that. And that's really what, you know, I say sets us apart. So that's a little bit into our programming and the path of a student. I would say when we get into upper school, you know, we work with our students to decide what is their next step after that. You know, we have 100% college acceptance rate, but what is more important is finding the school that's right for the student. So if a student does want to go into the arts, if we do have some that wants to study film, we work with them, we facilitate and we guide them through the process of being an artist and being a student artist in college. The admission process is different than the typical admission process. And so, you know, there's extra layers into that our faculty, our college counselors understand, and kind of our plan for the future of the Meadows Arts program is to strengthen this and to enable our students to find the right schools for them. So again, that's a little bit into the path of our students. I will say that we really understand that it's great for our students to have these opportunities in school, but it's also how do we bring the students outside into the broader community, and how do we bring the community into our students? And not only for our students, but for our families. So we want to find ways to bridge that gap between the Meadows and the community and our parents. And so things that we are looking at is a program that supports our families in their parents' involvement, bringing them and having a representative for our divisions, for instance, or our disciplines. So having representatives that kind of like a room parent for the visual arts, a room parent for the dramatic arts. And we find these ways so that parents can get more involved. Pre-COVID, and hopefully post-COVID, once we can. At my prior institution, what we found was unlike the athletic events, let's say you take your children to practice and you're sitting in your car, you're sitting off in the field, and you're talking with your fellow parents. The arts don't lend themselves as much to that. There's more of a drop off, and it happens, and we see you on the performance nights, and that's it, or we see you in the showing in the galleries. What we wanted to do was find ways for parents to not only get involved, but for parents to find ways to connect with each other. And so we're looking at ways to develop that further here at the Meadows School, and really kind of give an experience that you wouldn't have at a typical institution, make it more of a community school feeling. So those are kind of our brief overview of what our Meadows Arts program is. I could speak today's that, but I would love to open it up if anyone does have any questions specific. It can be specific or non-specific, but I'd love to hear any questions that you might have on our programming. Feel free to unmute. Feel free to if you want to put something in the chat. All right. I'd love to. So the question is, can I discuss our visual arts program? So depending on the division that you're in, whether you're in the middle school, the lower school, middle school, or upper school, it varies a little. But I will speak to our middle school program and our upper school program specifically. In the middle school, the visual arts program is focused on experiential learning. So our faculty bring the topics of different artists to the instruction. Our faculty have their lessons tiered so that we expose students to different types of artists, different mediums, while giving them opportunities to create their own art. So it's not just an art appreciation or just a class where you're constantly just creating. We really wanted to find the balance in that. And in middle school, that's really what they do. It's part exposure, part creating. As they move through and go into upper school, we offer at the most beginning level a studio art class. That's where you're working with our upper school visual arts teacher and working with them similarly, getting exposed to different mediums. For instance, whether it's oils or whether it's watercolor or mixed media, these are the times that you're getting to kind of get that broad scope. As you progress, we have Studio 1, and then we go into Studio 2 and pre-AP. That's when you can start to narrow your focus, and you're getting to choose your path. You're getting to choose your focus. And when we offer Studio 1, Studio 2, pre-AP, and then AP Visual Art. And AP Visual Art, that's when it is your time to shine. We are working with you to develop your portfolio, focus along the AP curriculum. But it really is a time for you to hone your skills, be guided by our expert artists, and develop your breadth of knowledge in visual arts. Most of our students that take our visual arts for AP do find ways to either major in visual arts or minor in visual arts. We guide them through that path of college counseling. So that's a little bit more into our visual arts program. If there's something specific, I'd be more than happy to answer on that. Otherwise, if anybody else has any questions. Competitive science. What is competitive science? So competitive science, and I can speak briefly to this, is taught in middle school. And what it is, they focus on the creation of robotics, of engineering and coding. It is a wonderful I would say, STEAM program focusing on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It's this balance of taking all of these skills that they're learning in their math classes and learning in their arts classes and bringing it together. They go and
Michael, can I interrupt you? Do you mind? Hi, I'm Brian Siegel. I'm director of the middle school for those who were on last night. I think I can, this is one of the areas we put in our elective program, but it's not within the arts department, it's from the science department. So maybe I could help a little bit. I have a philosophy that, there are still schools that every child does a science fair project, and it's always the hardest work the parents do all year. So I didn't want to see us continue that because, again, it was online projects. The kids were just looking and, how many times can you watch the volcano erupt? So we had a number of kids who were very vested in science, and we wanted to provide that. So several years ago, we started this elective where students who really want to do those higher level competitions get that opportunity too. In the last 2 or 3 years, it has really focused more and more and more on robotics. And we've now added to the upper school a robotics program because of how strong the middle school robotics program has been. So, and by the way, that also dovetailed from lower school, which started as Lego League. And so Lego League became middle school robotics, which now becomes upper school robotics. So it's really a elementary through upper school program. But that's not the only only on a normal non-COVID year. They do some other incredible competitions, science bowls. They've traveled to other states, to Arizona to participate in their state's science competitions. They usually do one, which is one of my favorites. It's called the Rube Goldberg competition, where they basically get an end goal and they get a number of steps it has to do. So, for example, last year's were that it had to do 9 or 10 different things and then deposit money it does at a dime into a bank. And I was so proud of our kids because they actually 3D printed their own bank with this big cup, so the dime wouldn't fall out. This year, the robotics actually has to throw things. The robot actually has to pick up things and throw them into a target. So these are very, very high level things for kids who are truly dedicated to science. Excuse me. And I also want to say, our science competition kids became like our athletes last year. They were at school quite late at night working on that robot. It became like their child. So there's other competitions they do. But those are where it's focused in. And again, it's for those kids who really want to continue the science competitions. And again, I hope I didn't interrupt you.
No, it was great. Thank you.
Mr. Orman, and because I know what great job you're doing. Any other questions, I'll be here to answer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions that you have? Well, I will say this. If there is anything that, if there's anything specific that you have any questions, if there's something that I didn't touch upon tonight, I know this was a brief conversation, but I wanted to hopefully open up the dialogue. But please reach out to me. You can find my email address on the website. It's morman@themeadowsschool.org. Otherwise, please feel free to stay on. I'd be more than happy to answer any other questions that you might have. But I want to thank you very much for taking the time to come tonight. Thank you.